Happy anniversary, KBLA!
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
And they wondered if a black talk radio station would work in Southern California.
Y'all did it!
Well, KBLA Talk 1580 toasts its 3rd anniversary on Juneteenth, and you're invited to celebrate with us.
Hey, Tabby Smiley, y'all the bomb.
All you have to do is go to KBLA1580.com right now and sign up. Admission is free, but mandatory, and space is limited. Once we reach capacity, we'll have to cut off the online registration, but it's open right now.
Oh my God.
So don't delay.
Thank you guys for being the best at what you do.
Log on to KBLATalk1580.com right now and register to join us for an afternoon of good music, good people, and good vibes.
Happy anniversary.
Wednesday, June 19th, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will provide the food and drink, but be sure to bring your low-back chairs, blankets, and your personal picnic baskets.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's celebrate 3 years of being the most trusted, credible, and reliable source of news and information.
We love you, KBLA.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're black and stride again.
Black and stride again.
Happy anniversary.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes 2 to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
So one of the things I learned from Carl Jung, whom I have great respect for, is that we necessarily exist inside a hierarchy of values. And that manifests itself all the time, because in order to act, things have to come to a point, right? For you to do something, you have to decide at that moment that that thing is more important to do than anything else that you're doing. And it isn't only how you act, it's even how you perceive. Because when you look at the world, you look at some things, one thing, rather than all the other things you could look at. So even to look at something, and this is technically true, you have to value the thing that you're looking at.
Wowzer! Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason on a Wednesday. Shortened week because of the past weekend, holiday weekend. But I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing. You see it? Everybody want to talk about attachment styles, attachment theory. Come on. I'll be the leader. I will lead the discussion. I didn't create the discussion. I'm just leading it. That's not true. Let me just say, I'm happy people are talking about attachment styles now because it's really important. And I didn't understand how important it was until the last maybe 3 years. And, once it started to come to my awareness, I was like, yo, this is really, really big. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. It is the latest trend. Everybody want to talk about attachment styles right now. And that's great. Like I said, I love it. But let's get into perception. That's why we played the clip of Jordan Peterson talking about the thing we value is the thing we focus on, and that's where our perception is drawn. Now, understand human beings are still animals. So typically, human beings will associate themselves with values and beliefs that will deliver some type of security and certainty, because most human beings are still fearful. Most human beings are still frightened of life. They're frightened of their own wounds. They're frightened of the total self that they represent. This is why the mask is so important. And oftentimes, because our perception is molded by our values, we tend to miss things. We miss a lot of things. This is why living in the era of quote unquote my truth, I need to speak my truth. Typically, your truth is diet truth. And so is your partner, because you guys are coming from two different perspectives. The perception is different. And I've always said, although relationship is a shared experience, it is an experience that you cannot directly share with anyone, let alone the person you're in an intimate relationship with. They can't have the direct experience of your relationship outside of their own direct experience. Do you understand? They can't have yours. And this is why communication is so important. You have to be able to articulate in such a way that you can give them a glimpse into how you see this shared experience. So, going even deeper, this is why people say relationships are hard, right? Because guess what? There's going to be problems. And when we're both viewing those problems, we're viewing those problems that exist in the relationship from two different perspectives, from two different angles. So if you go to therapy and you sit down, a therapist as an observer, an unbiased observer, an objective observer, they're going to try to fill in the blanks that your communication probably didn't. And that leads us to tonight's topic. Heavy stuff tonight. Are y'all ready? 1-800-920-1580. I need to hear from you guys. I want to talk to you. This show is predicated on another one of my favorite philosophers. And he's amazing. I love him. Robert Anton Wilson, who is the author of a couple of books that I just adore. And that is Prometheus Rising and Quantum Psychology. Very powerful works. And I think everybody, just in general, should read those books. But if you're in a relationship, definitely you should read those books. I do believe they're not relationship books, but they are perspective books, right? I think it's important. Tonight's topic may be logic. You can't BS the BSer, right? A deeper look at limitations on certainty. And when we say certainty, what I mean by certainty is rightness. So many of us, because we have our own perception and our own perspective, we think that it is right. right? A deeper look at limitations on certainty and Robert Anton Wilson's thoughts on the illusion of isness, right? This is going to get deep. And I really want you guys to lean in on this one, right? In our relationships, we are so hell-bent on being right. You guys are you guys familiar, or I'm sure everybody has seen this this commercial. Have you seen the commercial? I forget what product it's for, but what they do is somebody says something, hey, you forgot to throw away this. And they say, no, I didn't. I threw it away. And then they drop the flag for the replay. And then a camera crew runs in and says, no, here's the film. Then they look at the film, and then they go, oh, okay, I didn't do what I said I would. Listen, your perception is also affected by your memory. Have you ever wondered why your telephone number is only 7 digits? 10, right? Because there's an equation for that. There's a certain portion of your brain that can only remember maybe 10 digits. And for a certain amount of time, if you get over 15 seconds, boom, those digits are gone, right? Your brain has a process for remembering things, right? I'm going to tell you right now, if your memory, listen to this. This is going to hurt your heart. This is why negative things have a more lasting effect and a deeper impact on your relationship than positive things. You know why? Because many of us are conditioned to say for the positive thing, well, that is what's supposed to happen. Remember the great joke by Chris Rock when he said, if a daddy is taking care of his kids, nobody is patting the daddy on the back, right? Nobody is applauding the daddy. Great, I'm glad you take, that's what you're supposed to do. So oftentimes, good qualities in a person get overshadowed by their humanity in terms of the person's memory that is perceiving it. Did you know your negative memories go to a place in your brain called the amygdala? That's where all your strong emotions are. So when there's negativity, the negativity is always associated with strong emotions. And this is why we tend to remember the negative stuff, and it has a stronger impact than the positive stuff. Because just imagine if you had the power to say to yourself, I'm going to send all of my positive experiences with another person to my amygdala for storage. We tend to not do that. So we have short-term memory, and there's a process for short-term memory. We have to do some replication in order for the short-term memory to be transferred to long-term memory. There has to be some replication. We got to do it over and over again in order for that good thing that happened to be transferred to long-term memory. This is heavy tonight. Maybe logic. Why is this so important? Everybody abstracts a different reality. When you come through a room, you abstract the reality you're prepared to abstract. You pick up the signals that interest you. This is why you hear about a thing called confirmation bias. Your nervous system is picking up over 2 billion bits of information, 2 trillion bits of information. And what your nervous system does is filter out all of the information that fits what Robert Anton Wilson called your reality tunnel. Think about conflict in relationship and how your partner's story varies from yours, and sometimes greatly. Maybe logic is tonight's topic. Why is that important? We're going to get to it, right? You pick up the signals that interest you. Your brain records them and organizes them. We all have our own reality tunnel. And in our reality tunnel, we pick out some things and ignore other things. And we get about 10, or we have about 10 billion cells in our brain receiving hundreds and hundreds of millions of signals all the time. We just pick out the ones that fit into the established grooves in our brain, right? The reality tunnel that's been laid down by past experiences. Do you see how all of this? I know Ariva touched on attachment styles. I know, but do you see? Laid down by past experiences. We all have our own belief system. And the signals that fit our belief systems get in to our consciousness, and those that don't get pushed aside. The signals that don't fit our belief systems get ignored. Or if they keep coming back, we go to a psychiatrist and get cured and make them go away. Are y'all listening tonight? On a Reva Martin show, and we talked about this before, 80% of people have maladaptive attachment styles. That means insecure attachment styles. There's only, out of the 4 attachment styles, there's only one that's secure. And secure doesn't mean perfect. So the other 3 are maladaptive or insecure. Yee. So imagine if your perception is being colored by past traumatic experiences. If your parents let you down in any way, shape, or form, the chances are exceedingly high that your partner will do the same. Why you say that? Because the maladaptive attachment styles are attracted to each other. They're yin and yang to each other. I know y'all not ready for this. Are y'all ready for tonight's topic? Are most people's truth, i.e. my truth, just an inflexible, deterministic version of revisionist history? Chew on that. Listen, are most people's truth, i.e. my truth, just an inflexible, deterministic version of revisionist history? Are your unhealed wounds the source of your bottom line black and white thinking? Oh no. Is right and wrong an illusion? What is self-integration / self-alignment and its impact on aligning interpersonally? Can you be misaligned internally and yet hope to be aligned? Listen to us. Can you be misaligned intrapersonally? In other words, your relationship with yourself, and then hope to be aligned interpersonally? In other words, in relationship with others? Can our unhealed wounds make us psychologically dogmatic when I come forward? The voice of reason got more questions, man. We gonna keep it cooking.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Offense of Masonry to Orthodox churches is that it, like our First Amendment, encourages equal tolerance for all religions, and this tends somewhat to lessen dogmatic allegiance to any one religion. Those who insist you must accept their dogma fervently and renounce all others as devilish errors correctly see this Masonic tendency as inimitable to their faith.
They say, Zoe, why are you playing that clip about religious dogmatic thought? Because our wounds make us psychologically dogmatic. That's what the great Krishnamurti was about. When Krishnamurti speaks on his ultimate goal, he said, my ultimate goal is to set man unconditionally free. He was talking about from the past, the psychological past. An unhealed wound is like the CEO of your consciousness. It always has an opinion. It's always a fear-based thought process. This is why the great Dr. David R. Hawkins said 99% of the planet Earth, talking about the inhabitants of the planet Earth, people on Earth, he said 99% of them are vibrating at the consciousness level of fear. Unhealed wounds are always in protective mode, are always in fear mode. Imagine how that wreaks havoc on your perception. Ooh. Can our unhealed wounds make us psychologically dogmatic? Do the wounds keep preaching and repeating and parroting the same story? Ooh, Lord. Is our perspective the absolute truth? Are some of us guilty of self-gaslighting? Lord, listen to these questions tonight. Why do I feel the need to be right all the time? This is why most people can't be in a relationship with a human being. And yes, attachment style has a lot to do with it. If 80% of people have a maladaptive attachment style, fear, ego, and wounds will be running the show in terms of decisions being made. 1-800-920-1580. This is, have you guys, throw back to some of my previous shows. We're getting deeper into it now. You guys remember me saying trust is fear-based? You guys remember me saying loyalty is fear-based? I'm not saying trust isn't a good thing. I'm not saying loyalty isn't a good thing. But if it's fear-based, is it a good thing? 1-800-920-1580. How has fear elevated trust and loyalty? Trust and loyalty are like reciprocity. They're best when they are organic. Oh, I know y'all not ready for tonight's topic. How do the 4 types of illusion, as characterized by Robert Anton Wilson, influence our perception and interpretation of reality? People say they want to be heard. I say I want to be understood. Somebody can act like they hearing you. Somebody can sit there and listen and have no idea. Listen, to me, to be heard is to be understood. When I come forward, the voice of reason. I'm going to the phone line. National discussion time. Let's get it.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Maryland Governor Wes Moore joins President Biden and Vice President Harris in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania today for a rare joint campaign appearance by President Biden and Harris. The campaign is trying to bolster the black vote before voters head to the polls in November. Moore is the 3rd black person elected as governor in U.S. history. Chicago, Illinois is coming off a violent Memorial Day weekend, included more than 40 people shot and 9 killed. Mayor Brandon Johnson, who's black, reacted to the crime wave by saying that the city continues to provide support services to families that are dealing with this trauma. Mayor Eric Adams' administration is making a $10 million investment to help small businesses in New York City. The NYC Future Fund will provide loans to support businesses in their early stages. Officials say the target will be indigenous and people of color and women entrepreneurs who often cannot obtain traditional bank financing. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Are you a mental health, social worker, child welfare professional? Consider a career as a certified wellness coach where you can make an impact working with children and youth. Learn more at cawellnesscoach.org. Supported by the California Department of Healthcare Access and Information.
When I move my body, I feel like freedom. Happy anniversary, KBLA!
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
And they wondered if a black talk radio station would work in Southern California.
Y'all did it!
Well, KBLA Talk 1580 toasts its 3rd anniversary on Juneteenth, and you're invited to celebrate with us.
Hey, Tabby Smiley, y'all the bomb!
All you have to do is go to KBLA1580.com right now and sign up. Admission is free, but mandatory, and space is limited. Once we reach capacity, we'll have to cut off the online registration, but it's open right now.
Oh my God.
So don't delay.
Thank you guys for being the best at what you do.
Log on to KBLATalk1580.com right now and register to join us for an afternoon of good music, good people, and good vibes.
Happy anniversary.
Wednesday, June 19th, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will provide the food and drink, but be sure to bring your low-back chairs, blankets, and your personal picnic baskets.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's celebrate 3 years of being the most trusted, credible, and reliable source of news and information.
We love you, KBLA.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're black and stride again.
Black and stride again. Happy anniversary.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line.
Does it have to be family?
It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Whoa.
The idea of reality as a singular noun doesn't make any sense to me at all anymore.
What model do you use?
I like the sociological term glass and grid, which some sociologists use. Korzybski called it your system of abstractions, which means a lot if you know the mathematical school he was working from, but doesn't mean much to most readers. Leary coined the magnificent term reality tunnel. I call it a neurological reality tunnel. Everybody has their own neurological reality tunnel, which is why we misunderstand one another so often and why we misjudge one another so profoundly.
Can you describe what a reality tunnel is?
We receive, I think, more than 1 billion signals every minute from the environment. Most of them we're not even conscious of receiving. They affect our legs, our arms, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our chest. All this information is pouring in, and the nervous system is making evaluations at different levels, working its way up. One of the classic models is that we got 3 brains, the reptile brain, the mammal brain, and the human brain. I've heard that for so long. I don't know how far back that goes. I knew that when I was in my 20s, which means back in the early 1950s. If we tried to be conscious of all the signals, we couldn't do it. Because to be conscious of that many signals simultaneously means we only perceive chaos, which is the usual first reaction to LSD. Things turn into chaos, then they turn into different kinds of patterns. The chaos is because we can't handle that much information and organize it rapidly. So we throw out all the information that seems unimportant, which means we also throw out all the information that seems threatening to our belief system or to our dogma or to our ideology. We throw out everything we think can be ignored safely, so we concentrate on the things that seem important. Then our brain constructs a model out of all the information coming up from the rest of the nervous system, and we project the model outward and consider it reality.
Just pause that for a second. That is the great Robert Anton Wilson speaking. It was so rich. Are you guys listening? This is why we misinterpret each other. He spoke about dogma. Our unhealed wounds make us dogmatic. It puts us in a heightened space. Fight or flight, freeze. Is this safe? Are they safe? Is she safe? Is he safe? This is one of the main reasons why we cannot be in a relationship with a human being. A human being is inherently flawed. This is not a justification to say you should be with an abusive person. This is not a justification for that. This is saying we misjudge a lot of people because our thought process, our decision making is being governed by an unhealed portion of our spirit. That's why tonight's topic is maybe logic. Who created maybe logic? Robert Anton Wilson. And the premise of maybe logic is to say we got to stop using words like is or are or to be. He's saying catch up with science. Math is the most advanced language human beings have. Scientists use math to describe reality. And what they started to realize was language was failing math. In other words, they couldn't find the words. The math was speaking something that language could not articulate. So scientists did something quite clever. After one scientist had a sit down with the great Jiddu Krishnamurti, that was Dr. David Bohm. Jiddu Krishnamurti told David Bohm, the observer is the observed. That explained the measurement problem. I know I'm sounding a little bit like Terrence Howard right now, but that's okay. The measurement problem is it talks about an observer. When there is no observer, the electron is in what is known in scientific circles as superposition. In other words, the electron is everywhere. Superposition is everywhere. It's every possibility. It's every probability. That's why they call it a probability wave. But the moment they introduce an observer, they call that the collapse of the probability wave. That's when the electron is located in space-time. Right there, that's where the electron is. It's right there. But you need an observer. Put the Bible on top of it. As a man thinketh, so is he. Whatever the thinker thinks, the prover will prove. Do you understand? So now, Maybe Logic by Robert Anton Wilson was saying, instead of being so definitive about our partner's intentions, instead of being so definitive about everything, why not interject maybe? Or it appears as such. From my vantage point, this is what your behaviors look like. Can you give me context and clarity? As opposed to saying, you ain't worth nothing. You ain't this. You You lack integrity. Well, integrity is on a spectrum. Truth is on a spectrum. Character is on a spectrum. There are times in my life where my integrity spectrum or my integrity tank is low. Does that mean my integrity tank is always low? See, it's easy to find a villain, but nobody gonna sit you down and say, no. Let's look at this deeper. That's why tonight's topic, you can't BS the BSer. Why BS, though? BS don't stand for what you think. Bovine feces, it doesn't stand for bovine feces. It stands for belief system. And what I love about Robert Anton Wilson, he said something quite profound. He said, everyone has a belief system, i.e. BS. He said, the trick is to learn not to take anyone's BS, belief system, too seriously, especially your own. But what happens when you get hurt in a relationship? That person becomes your natural villain, your natural scapegoat, Azazel. No context for how you co-contributed and co-conspired against yourself. Ooh, are y'all listening tonight? That's why we talked about it. Maybe logic. If we started saying maybe more, scientists are doing it all the time now. Well, maybe this means this. Maybe we have, by unlocking the boson, right? The God particle, the Higgs boson. Maybe we'll be able to do this. Maybe we'll be able to travel interdimensionally. They're not speaking definitively anymore because of the advent of quantum mechanics. And you think because you're not a theoretical physicist, the rules of quantum mechanics don't apply to your love life, but they do. That's why I said some of the ideas in psychology are a little antiquated. In about 10, 15 years, the spiritual aspect will be added. So many of us are looking at our partner through the lens of a dogmatic wound that they can never be right. Do you see how this is a problem for unconditional forgiveness? This is why Christians who claim to be Christians don't really live the red words. That damn book told you to forgive 700 times. You don't know a single a Christian that's forgiven twice. 5, maybe 5. I'll give you 5. It says 700. Forgiveness doesn't mean stay in a negative situation, but we don't even understand it. We don't even understand what it actually means. We on one tonight. We are on one tonight. Listen, when I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. I promise this time.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time that you let loose ends just take you on a ride. The voice of reason is in the building. You already know my playlist is my co-host. We on fire tonight. Tonight's topic, maybe logic. You can't be 100% certain about anything. Right? That's why there's so much assumption in our relationship. That's why there's so much misunderstanding in our relationship. Yes, we do bad things to each other, but the way we interpret the bad that has been done prevents us from healing, right? Prevents us from forgiving, prevents us from letting go. Have you ever been hurt and it became a catalyst for you to now have a voice? Do you see? Do you see? Sometimes your misinterpretation of a situation can turn you into a crusader for a cause that really, if you tapped in from it from a different perspective, was designed for you to experience so you can grow, not for you to become the Joan of Arc for an unhealed wound. You remember how Joan of Arc just kept fighting battles? The perception of reality is not a fixed construct, but a dynamic and subjective phenomena. Robert Anton Wilson's concept of reality tunnels and the interconnectedness of perception and belief systems prompt a profound exploration of the illusory nature of certainty and the complexities of the human experience. Why certainty? You think, because you're not a physicist, that those laws don't apply to you, but they do. The uncertainty principle. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Just when you think you're getting your life together, God throws a curveball and you think you're back at square one, but you're not. Maybe the universe is saying you can carry this too. You just don't know you have the capacity. But in order to discover the capacity, I got to throw a little bit more onto you. Do you see? But if we look at it from the perspective, whatever the thinker thinks, the prover will prove. If we look at it from a weak script, right? A loser script, what happens? We defeat ourselves by what we say to ourselves. This is negative self-talk as well, right? Tonight's topic, we intend to embark on an intellectually stimulating journey to kind of deconstruct the limitations of certainty, right? The influence of unhealed wounds on psychological dogmatism and the dynamics of interpersonal relationship. At the crux of the exploration lies the profound question: is right and wrong an illusion? Yes, to some degree, and no to another. It could be right on both ways, because what's right for you might be wrong for somebody else, right? What's true to you may be skewed or incorrect outright to someone else. Do we care if it's wrong to someone else? Most of the time, no. Most of the time, we don't. Right? That's why I'm saying grace and space. Sometimes we don't need an answer. Sometimes we need stillness and quiet with a quiet mind. Many of us have a noisy mind. We need a quiet mind to allow God to speak, to allow Source to speak. But oftentimes our unrequited wounds will step in and give us the answer. Do you understand? We got callers on the line. Let me get them in here right now. Who's been on the longest? We got Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida. Get in here.
Hey, I thought Sean was going to do it before me. Shout out to Sean. This is an interesting show. I want to go back to the loyalty, the fear, that loyalty, trust, and all that is fear-based. For me, I want to preface by saying I think when those things are outside of yourself, I think that's when it becomes fear. Because for me, trust can be freeing. If you look at when a dad or a mom says to a child, "Come on, jump off the stairs," trust me to jump, and then that child jumps. You could feel the freeness of that. When you have somebody you trust, a trusted confidant, or it's freeing to be able to just talk to them about anything. But I can think of times when maybe I had to give that control over in a situation, and the trust was maybe outside of myself. Just thinking back on those emotions, it is very fearful when you don't have that trust in yourself, and maybe you have to trust somebody else to do something for you, or maybe show up to something, because now you have to put that trust is outside of yourself, and you're depending on someone else. So I can see when it's fearful there, but anytime when the loyalty starts with you, when you trust yourself, then it's easy to kind of trust others, because I think you'll draw those energies to you. Is that, and then that last question you had on the list of questions, the healing, come healed, and sometimes I don't like for other people's opinions to bother me, because at the end of the day, like you say, there is really no right or wrong. It's just my perception of something. But I think to say you want somebody to come healed, then you're not giving them room or opportunity for their humanity.
How about that?
Because healing isn't linear. Healing is like a mountain that you have to...
Wait, stay right there. Don't... Hey, Nzinga is on fire. Nzinga, I need you to pick right back up where you left. Lord have mercy. When we come forward, more from Pensacola, Florida.
Staring at the moon, shining on so bright. Be with the one that understands your dreams. This is what you need, girl, to make your life complete now. It's your